it's Douglas Coleman.
Hey, ho, 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 and welcome to the Douglas Coleman Show. Thank you, everyone, for coming. I'm really excited about it. This is the light and fluffy edition of the Douglas Coleman Show. And what I mean by that is that I thought we'd take a break from the intensive hour-long interviews that we did the last two shows. Last week we had Justin Kincaid, film producer Justin Kincaid, on, and the conversation got really heavy. Although it was a great conversation, we got into a lot of social issues and women's equality issues. And then the week before, we had Stuart Epps on, legendary music producer. And we really needed about 3 hours for that show because his stories about working with Elton John off and on for the past 40 years and many other famous musicians that he's worked with. So the show just kind of whipped right by. And we didn't have a chance to play any music or do anything. So this time I thought we would do something different and just have a kind of a light and fluffy day. And just a little more interaction. We're also going to be having a drawing, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute. But let me bring my co-host on right now. He's the effervescent, phosphorescent, and always inscrutable Mr. John Morgan.
Yeah, John! Hello, Douglas. Hi, everybody.
Hey, John. How are you?
Good.
How's things in Las Vegas?
Well, I have broken record, but it's 112 degrees. But it's a dry
112.
Heat.
Oh, wow, that is hot. It was that hot today in Pakistan, but I think they have humidity too. In case anybody wants to know what the temperature is in Pakistan. Anyways, we've got a great guest who I'm going to bring out in just a second. Oh, you know what? Let's bring her out now. She is the founder and president of Lady Lake Entertainment, which promotes indie artists, and more recently will be delving into music licensing for film. She is Ms. Light and Fluffy herself. Please welcome Cindy Diadamo. Hi, Cindy.
Hi, everybody in Radio Land. Hi, it's me, bringing the light and fluffy to all of you.
Did I get your last name right?
Everyone pronounces it differently. We do the Americanized version, which is Diadamo. So, however, as long as they call me to dinner, I'm cool.
Well, I said Diadamo. Is that, I guess that was wrong then.
Actually, that, I believe, is the Italian pronunciation. If we have anybody that speaks Italian or anything close in the chat room and they could correct me, I am clueless.
Well, all right. I thought it was an Italian name because that's how you would pronounce it in Italian. I don't speak Italian, but I know the kind of the structure of the language.
I speak meatball fluently.
Anyways, so I was just telling people about our drawing. So let me just finish with that first. Basically, this is just a small thank you to all of the Douglas Coleman Show supporters. And I thought we would just have a drawing just in the spirit of the light and fluffiness of this particular show. So how the drawing is going to work, the drawing is for a $10 Amazon.com gift card, which you can use at Amazon to buy anything you want up to $10. Or if you want to make a big purchase, then it'll be $10 off on your purchase. So how this is going to work is that we're going to play a sound at some point in the show, but we're not going to tell you when the sound is going to come. It'll just come. And at that point, John Morgan will start writing down all the names that are in the chat room, and everybody who's in the chat room at that moment will be automatically entered to win. And then we will draw the name shortly before the end of the show. We will draw one name at random. It's just going to be the old, all the numbers in a fishbowl and somebody draws. John will do it. Now, I know what you're thinking. We're doing this on radio, but John is going to talk his way through the whole thing, right, John? You're going to tell everybody what you're doing. I'm sticking my hand in now, and I'm shaking up the bowl. And okay, so we'll keep it honest. You're just going to have to trust us on that.
I am inscrutable. I am inscrutable, so don't scrutinize me.
He is inscrutable. So we will draw one name, and we will announce the name, and then that person needs to email me at radio@douglascolemanmusic.com and include in the subject line Amazon drawing. And then I will very quickly send you your $10 Amazon e-card via email to the address that you send the email from. And then you will have your card and you can use it as you please. So that is my little thank you from, well, our little thank you, John and I's thank you, to all of our supporters who have been coming here faithfully every week and listening to the show. We really appreciate it. And we just wanted to give a little something back. So, with that, continuing on over our light and fluffy virtual cocktail party. Cindy, I want to thank you very much for putting up that big thing on Facebook. I didn't actually know you could do that kind of a thing. That was really cool. I appreciate you doing that.
Oh, yeah, sure. That's kind of what we do with Lady Lake. You know, we have to have all of the event invitations for all of the different things people are doing, be it interviews or live performances. And sometimes when you invite folks, as I was explaining earlier, it doesn't mean they're physically going to attend something. They're just kind of saying, hey, yo, you know, what's up? And that they know you're on the face of the earth and you're doing something. It's kind of sometimes a way to get people who you haven't talked to for a while aware of what you're currently up to. So although you're inviting, let's say you're in Boston and you're having a opening like Lori and Fred just did, to invite friends of yours who are maybe in, let's say, Las Vegas in radio, wink, it's just to let them know that, hey, we're having an opening, you know, look at us, here we are, you know, hi to you kind of thing. So.
Well, I think it's a great thing. I didn't really know you could do something like that, but
and I didn't want to call it a radio interview because that's neither light nor fluffy. We needed something that was, you know, to equate to the occasion of the day with the lightness and the fluffiness of it all.
Well, I agree, and you certainly surpassed yourself in the light and fluffy department. So I want to thank you for that.
There's no end to my light and fluffy.
Can you give people just, I know most everyone who's here is probably your best friend, but can you give just a little basic history in case there's people listening who don't know who you are and don't know about Lady Lake, and just give us a quick rundown how it got started, how you started it, something like that?
Okay. Well, first of all, shout out to all my buds in the chat room with the light and fluffy chat. Hey, girls. Hey, guys. I see all my friends over there. Thanks for coming. So Lady Lake actually started out in a kind of weird way. There's a little cool story that really made me start. There was a duo known as Evan and Jaron, and they had a huge hit called Crazy for This Girl in about 2003, I want to say. And they had the old-fashioned, old-school people in the chat room. You'll know what I'm saying, the BBS of it all, where you would have a little applet on your homepage, and you could chitter-chatter to your friends back and forth and interact. Evan Lowenstein, who is the head of Stage It, he is the guy who got me involved in online promotion. He showed me first-handedly how a band should relate to their fans and friends. And as soon as MySpace opened, he said, okay, core fans of mine who I chitter-chat with all the time, we're heading to MySpace, new territory. If you don't know how to build one, I'll build one for you. Come over and support us. So I did. So lo and behold, when I built my MySpace back in the old days, all these indie bands came out of the woodwork and started ambushing me and saying, hey, lady. And I thought, wow, there is so much great talent, but it's not being heard. And one particular band endeared themselves to me, and I made it my task to figure out what to do with them. So I went at the feet of some wonderful friends, Shelby Blackburn, who was promoting at then the time, the band was called Lane 4. Now they're called Picture Me Broken. That is Brooklyn Allman, Greg Allman's daughter. There was also another band being promoted by Lisa McGregor, and she is the wife of Craig McGregor of Foghat, and she was promoting her son's band. So Lisa, Shelby, and I, working on my little band, who was called Reality Addiction from New Jersey. They've since disbanded, but they were just wonderfully talented young. I mean, these guys were, one of them was in high school, one of them was in junior college, you know, they were young guys. So us three ladies banded together, and through thick and through thin and this and that, I wound up having a little radio show of my own in upstate New York, virtually, remotely, and I scouted indie music on MySpace, came across the beautiful Juliet Goff. Through Juliet, met Stuart, became Juliet's promoter, and everything just took off from there.
Well, sounds interesting. Yeah, you mentioned MySpace. Do people still use that one? I remember when that was the place to be. And I don't think I've been on my MySpace page for 5 years. I don't even know if it's still there.
Well, you know what's funny? From time to time, I'll go just check. Mine is still there, but it's in the original state, so it's way, way back. It's like kind of a little time capsule because it has your same top friends as you were friends with in like 2008 or whenever it was that you left. So it's kind of interesting to go back and see, wow, this is how things were done back in that day. Of course, everyone then migrated to Facebook, and now some people are migrating to Twitter and Instagram. And, you know, it's kind of an evolution of social media, the history of the online marketing of music.
Yeah, I don't get Instagram at all. I mean, I can't take that many pictures. And it seems to me that that's the only point of that site, is that you just are constantly uploading pictures of whatever you're taking. And I don't know, I can't get into that at all.
Well, I think it depends on what you do. For me, myself, since I'm like a storehouse for all the artists, I have pictures of, you know, David Martinez singing live, or Sharon Leah's performance when she met Jimmy Starr, or if someone has out a new poster, or my lunch, you know, whatever it is I want to put up. And sometimes I will get more hits on my lunch, frankly, than something I would hope to get hits on, so you just never know.
Well, listen, if you're posting pictures of your lunch and you're getting hits, I think that's great.
Yeah.
You must have some good lunch.
Yeah.
Must be pretty incredible. Well, let's see. We've got, let's take a look at the chat room here.
Chat room is rocking and rolling. I see Kiki. Hey, Kiki. Hey, Shireen. Hey, Carlette. There's Mike. Irish, Jane, John, Dave Davis, Daniel, everybody and their brothers in that chat room. Bobby Mouse, hey Bobby Mouse, what's up?
Everybody's here. Oh, that's good. I think my page stopped refreshing because it doesn't seem like anyone's talking.
I just see, hey Douglas, hey Cindy, hi Douglas, chatting from North Carolina. I just posted my breakfast.
Yeah, I don't know. I think my page completely died here, but, well, that's all right. Anyways, one question. You must get a lot of people submitting to you at this point, since you're fairly well known. What do you have any special criteria that you listen for when somebody submits music to you and you're thinking if you're going to take them on as a client or not?
Well, yeah, I do. And when I say, sometimes I put up a disclaimer that we are not for hire. That doesn't mean that we don't do work for people and we're not a paid agency. What it means is anyone can't come to me and say, hey lady, promote my music, here's money. I don't do that. We have a hand-selected roster that Jen and I listen to and screen. We look for a couple of different things. First of all, of course, there has to be talent. Second of all, even if someone isn't a built artist, and when I say a built artist, I mean they're not touring, they're not drawing an audience, that isn't my chief concern. I look for the ability for them to do more work, maybe with a better producer, you know, and eventually people can get to a level of a Stuart Epps or something. They may be using their own production, or they may be using a small local producer or something of that nature. So as long as there's potential, that's the first thing I look for. The second thing I look for is some level of, I don't want to say propriety because that sounds a little stuffy, and I'm definitely fluffy, not stuffy. I mean, like some level of being able to present yourself without the
hey, yo, here's my music, lady. Listen to me. Make me a star. I don't do that. I would expect someone to be able to communicate and say, hello, my name is so-and-so. I found you on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or About Me or LinkedIn or wherever. And I'd like you to take a look at my EPK. Here's my website. Here's my music. I have hard copies. I've toured here. I haven't toured yet. Send a reasonably nice note. Another thing I look for, which is probably a little strange, but just go with me on it, is I look for character. I honestly will not take someone that I think will not be able to be a good representation of the work that I've put into my company, and I'm going to introduce these artists to all of my contacts. They're going to meet Mike from Terror Rising. They're going to meet Kiki. They're going to meet Carlette. They're going to meet Dave Davis and Daniel. And I don't want people who are going to do a discredit to my great friends who also work so hard in this industry. I only want to present the best across the board. Be that
so no divas then, huh?
Oh no, my thing is leave your diva at the door.
That's a good idea.
We don't do diva. No diva.
Well, it's bad enough when they get to be big time and they turn into a diva, but when you're just trying to climb up the ladder to big time, being a diva certainly isn't where you want to be. I think that would quickly alienate you from a lot of people, especially in the DIY environment that music is now. It's not it's not like it used to be, where you kind of went from rags to riches and got discovered. I don't think that happens so much anymore. I think there's been just a few occasions of people getting discovered, like perhaps Justin Bieber. But most people are doing it themselves and are building on, Facebook following and Twitter following and just working their way up a little more slowly.
It's a very organic grassroots build, and that's exactly what I tried to do when I started the Envision Coalition. And a lot of the people who you see right now in the chat room are Envision members. Envision is a group I founded based on people who I have done work with, who I know are good, honest individuals with good character, who do good work in the indie music, indie film, indie entertainment industries. We band together as a coalition. We support one another. We help one another. We offer tweet support to one another, Facebook reposting, joining of events, linking you to other contacts. Hey, I see that you're doing this project. Perhaps you would benefit from knowing my buddy over here who I've worked with for 5 years, who may be able to bring something to your opportunity, or you may be able to bring something to his. So Envision is a very cool, out of the box thing that I thought up one day with Mike Rakucci. We were having a convo. I was on the couch and I said, Mike, what do you think of linking all these cool people together? We were trying to figure out how to get David Martinez on tour on the East Coast when he really had no contacts there. I said, what if we link up our buddies and just call it something? And so we decided, Mike and I actually came up with the name Envision together. I don't remember if he thought of it or I thought of it, but whoever thought of it. So we linked up Matt Kasar from Artist Connection Podcast, Cher Weston Stack from Homegrown Radio, New Jersey, Mike from Terror Rising Films, a friend of ours, Matt Anderson, and we had David Martinez not only go to do performances, he actually met some of the roster members. He met Diane Cameron, who supported him in his show at Eddie's Attic in Georgia. He met Mike Rakucci. They did some photos and an interview. Matt Kasar came out to his show at World Cafe in Philly. So it's a big hand-holding, uplifting, positive energy coalition of good, cool people working together.
Well, I think that's great. I always got that kind of feeling that Lady Lake was just one big family of people. Everybody seems really cool. Everybody seems like they work together, support each other, and I really like that. I'm glad I'm a part of your roster. I have never really been in that kind of a group much on anything. I mean, when I was working. People at work, if you get into a good company, I think people can be like that. But a lot of the times where people work, I think more times than not, I hear stories of people like, oh, I hate those people I work with. Oh, they're blah, blah, blah. And, I just hear more stories like that, unfortunately, than I hear people saying, oh, what a great bunch of people I work with. Maybe I've just worked in the wrong places for but I'm really happy. I'm really happy to be with you guys. And
well, I find it's some people work on this as kind of a they're my competitor, so I can't possibly network with them, and I'll keep all my contacts to myself and I won't talk to someone else. But with social media being what it is, you are able to connect instantly with people you would never have been able to reach previously. I'm now connected to some artists whose music I grew up with. Just the other day, I was talking to the Bellamy Brothers, and I happened to be watching a PBS special for the fundraising, and I saw the Bellamy Brothers. I went over to Twitter and said, hey, I love you guys. I'm watching you on PBS. And before I knew it, they were talking back to me, and we were following one another. So the hoarding of contacts, right? Well, the competition element and the hoarding of contacts may have worked in the days where you had a Rolodex and no one shared with anyone, and there really were fierce competitors. But I find aligning myself and aligning my company with the good people of Envision, and as we're expanding actually daily, I just feel as if the philosophy of it being a supportive community, and together, we uplift all of us, and that includes Jimmy Starr, who couldn't be here today because he's actually traveling out to California. He sent us good wishes for the show. He's a good friend of mine. He's a close friend of mine. We work together, although our companies are separate. We are like-minded individuals in that we understand the importance of everyone supporting good music and everyone lifting each other up.
Speaking of friends, I wanted to say hello to Matt Kesar. He did say he was going to be here on the Facebook thing, he said. Right. But I have a feeling he's at work. So he might be listening, but he's not in the chat room. So, hey, Matt. And Matt is actually going to be on the show on the 14th of July. So I'm looking forward to having Matt on. It'll be kind of interesting to interview him for a change.
Right.
Since he's the master of interviewing everyone else. Maybe I thought we would do something like an interview face-off. I'll ask him one question, he asks me one question, and we'll go back and forth.
Cool, yeah.
Something like that. We'll see what happens. But
he's interviewed so many really amazing people. One of my favorite interviews was with Tommy James from Tommy James and the Shondells.
Oh, I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, I'm a big Tommy James fan. I met Tommy James when I was in college in Maryland. There was a place that was like, I want to say a disco club, if I'm correct. And it was called the Hollywood Palace. And their New Year's Eve show was Tommy James, solo. And I don't remember how much the door was. It was really cheap to get in. So I was with a table full of people, and he was so cool. He came over and gave us pictures and autographs. So I just thought he's really an amazing guy with a very interesting story. He'd be a good guest.
What was their big hit?
Oh, they had so many. Crystal
what? John, what?
Crystal Blue Persuasion. I was saying the same thing. She was Moni Moni. My Baby Does the Hanky Panky.
Right. Okay.
My Baby Does the Hanky Panky is like the song to do the pony to, y'all. I mean, seriously. What's up?
All right. No, I couldn't think off the top of my head what were they, but I know I've heard all their songs.
Crimson and Clover.
Oh, yeah. That
That's
one.
like
Okay.
a hippie song, very psychedelic, but Hanky Panky is more like a 60s song, so they kind of spanned. They also sing I Think We're Alone Now. I have the greatest hits somewhere, probably vinyl.
I wanted to ask you one thing. You said that you get a lot of submissions and that you have specific criteria for it. You don't have to mention the name, but what was the worst music you ever received?
Ha ha! Well, I don't know if it was the worst music, but I would say it's the worst submission I've ever received. I've got a tie for first place. Kiki,
Okay.
you're going to love this, girl. You're going to love it. Okay. I had someone who sent me their so-called one sheet, in quotes, which consisted of a Ziploc baggie. And inside the Ziploc baggie, they had physically printed out onto computer paper a bunch of internet quotes where they cut them with scissors and clipped them. I guess that was press clippings. Get it? Press clippings, everybody.
Oh my God. They actually mailed this to you, right?
They mailed them to me in a Ziploc bag.
Oh my goodness.
For real. Okay, that was a tie for the person who sent me the all-white CD. It was like the Beatles' White Album, except for, of course, they weren't the Beatles. It was a white cardboard CD holder. You took out the CD, which was also white. There was no cover letter, no business card, no return address, nothing. It was just the white CD. How in
there was no printing. There was no printing on the disc itself, or
I loved them. What if they were the best band I have ever heard? What if I would knock down heaven and earth to have them on my roster? I couldn't contact them if I tried. Not a clue.
That's funny. So how was the music on the white CD?
Would you have played it?
Oh, it went straight into the bin, did it?
It went into my circular file.
I see. Okay. Excuse me. No, I might have played it just for curiosity, morbid curiosity, but I'm sure you've got better things to do with your time.
Well, I mean, yes, because we have to listen to, and then there are the people who are always all day long. Hey, lady, listen to me. Here's my link. Hey, lady, want a link? How about some free beats? This goes on all day long. And if I physically stopped to listen to all of these people with their fabulous submission style, I would do nothing except for click links to bad music. So I don't even click links like that at all. They're just.
I don't blame you.
Because I have to do wonderful things like, be light and fluffy on your show. Right?
Well, speaking of the show, I wanted to make a quick announcement here. In case people are interested. On the 21st of July, we won't have a guest unless Betty White replies to my email. And yes, I did send Betty White an email asking her to be on my show, but I have a feeling she's also a little too busy. But I love Betty White, and I would love to have her on the show, but I think that's a bit of a dream. Anyways, for that particular show, we're going to be talking to John for the hour so that people can get to know him a little bit. And we're going to talk about our adventure going to to Toronto for the first time and how that led to me coming here to Thailand. So it might be an interesting show for people who want to hear the mysterious John Morgan speak actually for an hour. Won't you be thrilled to death, John?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You sound thrilled.
Well, he's kind of the mysterious co-host, and they've sort of kept him that way on purpose. But for the July 21st show, it's just going to be me and him talking. So unless Betty emails, then John's going to get bumped for Betty White. But
what about Shirley Jones?
Yeah, I'd bump you for Shirley Jones too.
Well, you should.
I'd bump you for Shirley Jones too.
You should. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But I don't know. It's a tie. If Jay Brannon emails, I may bump him for you. He seems like he's a little bit stuck up. I don't know. That's just my guess. But, well, there we have it, folks. There's the trumpet sound. And that means that the people in the chat room right now are automatically entered to win the drawing. So, John Morgan, please get busy and start writing all the names down.
I'm all
that
over.
are all in there. Okay. And Cindy and Jen, I'm sorry, but you guys are disqualified because you are my publicists, and I just don't think that would be fair to have you guys in on the drawing. So if you don't mind, we're going to disqualify you two.
Oh, awesome. I wonder who's going to win. The suspense.
I hope your feelings are not hurt, Cindy.
Oh, yes, I'm crushed. I'll never get over it. No, it's great. I'm curious to see who's going to win.
While John is writing, we're going to play a song. And I thought, in keeping with the light and fluffy theme of the show, I would play something that was more conducive to like a party rather than playing one of my full production songs.
Right.
So I made a recording a while back of a cover song that probably everyone's heard. And it's just an acoustic guitar with a bass line, and I overdubbed the harmonies. And it's also relevant to our virtual cocktail party because the song is actually about a particular cocktail. So here it is, folks. This is Douglas Coleman, or me, whatever you prefer, doing my cover of the Eagles' Tequila Sunrise.
Awesome.
It's another tequila sunrise, staring slowly across the sky. He said goodbye. He was just a hired hand, working on the dreams he planned to try. Days go by. Every night when the sun goes down, just another lonely boy in town. She's out running round. Wasn't just another woman, couldn't keep from coming on. It's been so long. It's a hollow feeling when it comes down to dealing friends. Never ends. Take another shot of courage, wondering why the right words never come. You just get numb. It's another tequila sunrise. This whole world still looks the same. Another frame.
Yay! All right. Well, that was Tequila Sunrise. I think that was actually the AM single shortened version. It seems to me there's another verse or another chorus or a bridge or something. It was kind of short, but I haven't actually listened to the Eagles' original version of that song in probably 20 years. So I don't know if I have to go back and listen to it again. So, Cindy.
Yes.
Tell us a little about the new venture with licensing for film. How is that going?
Well, we are working with a couple of different projects. The guest who you had from Film Fervor, Justin Kincaid, he's the one who initially suggested to me that we take the artists of Lady Lake Music and put them together collectively and put the music out for people who are doing web series, people who are doing indie films, short films, documentaries, because they're always looking for music for these projects. So we're going to be working with him to establish a website and set up services and things through Justin's Film Fervor as a base. But aside of that, I'm going to be I've already started working with the Gypsy TV series. I started that last fall, doing some PR and things. And Diane Cameron, who is in the chat room, was chosen to work with them on music and do the soundtrack. So she will be working on that.
Great.
Yeah, then also we have guest Leanne Moonraven from Moonraven Films. They are doing Achilles the Hit, which I'm the music supervisor for, working with International Nova on doing the soundtrack. So we're going to be working on music for that. I'm also working on a short film called Finding Faith, which is a romantic comedy. It has nothing to do with religion. Faith is the lady's name in the film. But it's a cute little play on words. It gets people interested. And that's going to be coming out with Lady Lake supplying the music. So those are our first projects.
Okay, well, that sounds good. John,
Yeah.
have you got all the names written down?
Yep, I'm ready to go.
All right. Well, why don't you tell us what you're doing, and then when you get to the point, we'll have the drum roll.
Okay, well, I'm shaking up the fishbowl. I don't know if you could hear it.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Nice sound effects.
Well, that's actually really shaking up the fishbowl. It's not the pet. Okay. Let me know when you're ready.
Okay. And the winner is, drum roll please, Chad. Well, that was a great drum roll. Okay, and the winner is?
Winner is Shireen. Congratulations, Shireen.
Shireen.
Yay!
All right, Shireen. Well, congratulations. You have just won a $10 Amazon.com gift card. So, Shireen, what you need to do is send an email to radio@DouglasColemanmusic.com and include in the subject line Amazon drawing, and I will send you that $10 gift card right out to you to the email that you send in on. All right? So congratulations to Shireen. Do you know Shireen, Lady Lake?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Shireen. And I made friends. She is PR for Fat Hippie Records out of Scotland, and she represents their television show, several of their artists. She's a very busy lady, a very good friend, very nice, very sharing and supportive on Facebook and Twitter. And so congrats, girlfriend. Have a big pink drink for me.
Well, okay.
That's what I mean by that. Her signature is a big pink drink.
Oh, I see. Well, Ms. Light and Fluffy, anything else you want to talk about?
Oh, well, let's see. We've talked about the movie. We've talked about some of the artists. We have a couple of tours going on right now. If we could do a little we have Leroy Miller going to Montana. Everything's on my Facebook. The posters are up. We have David Martinez on tour in Texas. He has 2 big shows coming up. The Bay Jammin' show, where he opens for Ian Moore on July 2nd. July 3rd, he opens for Vallejo and Billy Joe Shaver at the Mathis 4th of July in Texas. We have Mose Bros on tour. They are going up to a festival. They're going up to do the Tokyo Rosenthal program. They're doing and then we have Gray at the Thoroughbred Festival. We have American Beauties at Black Potato Festival, and a partridge in a pear tree, frankly.
Speaking of Dave Martinez, he's going to be on the show here next week. So I'm excited about that. I haven't actually ever talked to Dave.
It will be Dave and Hair.
Dave and Hair?
Yes. there's a little joke. David always gets teased. He has very shoulder length hair, very pretty. All the ladies love it. All the guys are jealous.
I know I am.
Kind of a little casual ribbing to him. He actually even had Axe products promote him one year, Axe hair products. So it's a little joke that we do with him.
Oh, okay. Well, I've seen his pictures. Yeah, he's got very nice hair. Nice, long, straight hair. I really like that. I could never grow my hair like that. When I had more of it, it would grow to a point, and then it would start curling in all different directions. And it was impossible. I always wanted just perfectly straight hair and never could have it.
Yeah, well, you probably had the Leroy Miller tour hair. Have you seen that poster?
No, I haven't. Woo. Haven't seen that one.
Oh, you should. That's like him in action with the gigantic rock star hair going all over the place. And then we have, for Mike Ricucci, I want to say, high bench buddy. He knows what that means. And is he wearing the purple jacket? He knows what that means. It's just a lot of inside jokes with my buds.
Well, and Michael will be on the show on the 7th of July.
We met
Looking
Michael.
Forward to that one.
We met Michael in Charlotte, North Carolina last fall. I had posted a picture on the chat thread earlier with Jen and I in International Nova. We were doing a benefit show for Music for Vets, which collects instruments to use in therapy for veterans. And we were doing a benefit show. We had several artists. We had International Nova. We had also Dave Tolliver from Men at Large was singing, and boy, he was great. And so Mike was staying at our hotel, and we hung out. And hashtag purple jacket, hashtag love the hair.
I want to throw in this strange thing that I read. This has nothing to do with what we were just talking about. But it's just something very strange that when you read stuff in the news, I think it's getting bad. I think people are not going to school to learn how to write something. I don't know if you've noticed this on Yahoo, but when they report the news on certain things, sometimes they're just absolutely laughable as to what they're saying and how they word it. So I just got this thing, and it said authorities collected several items on Saturday from a hunting cabin in Owl's Head, New York, including prison-issue underwear. 2 officials briefed on the case told ABC News. Now, I got the joke. You obviously got the joke. And I took that right off of Yahoo, and I was like, are they kidding? Did they actually write it like that?
I'd have said he was boxered.
Oh,
yeah. Now, what I want to know is if anybody's ever been in prison. Do they actually issue briefs or boxers?
I've never been in prison. I have never inspected prison issue underwear, but that's a whole nother topic that we could go into on another show.
Yeah, we need Ron here for that one if we're going to talk about that.
We need some reference points. We need some reference on this one.
I think Ron Russell would be a perfect person to discuss this one with.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Let me tell you a story about that.
Yeah. Oh, he'd have a story. I know he would have a story.
He has the best stories. Actually, the best story to me that he ever told was the birthday story, which I call hashtag happy birthday, honey, which was Jimmy throwing him into the back of a truck with a liverwurst sandwich, nothing to drink.
Oh, yes. I remember.
My God. He had to go to the bathroom. They were going 80 miles an hour. Should he pee out of the window? I mean, it just went on. The barbecue and the amount of hillbillies that were at the barbecue. And you know, Ron, he's a New York jet set type dude. He's used to Nouvelle cuisine. He's like rubbing elbows with Jed Clampett. You know, it was just, that was a hoot and a holler.
Well, now, why did Jimmy take him to that place? Was that a joke?
Okay. Jimmy is a fish stick, baked bean, regular old everyday dude. And Ron, it's kind of like either The Odd Couple or Green Acres. It's kind of like Jimmy's the everyman's American, all-American, has done all the regular stuff. Whereas Ron is the old Hollywood, you know, the cigarette in the long holder, darling, type guy. And those two together is just a riot. I bet anything they do is funny. Even like the grocery store must be hilarious with those two.
So it's Jed Clampett meets Tallulah Bankhead, basically, those two.
And who's ready for who's close up, etc. Just some good stuff. They're great. They're actually the nicest people. They're so hilariously funny. They have huge hearts, even though, you know, they're so connected to so many people. If you look at Jimmy's pictures, he's got pictures with Nelly and Diddy and Pink. And then, of course, Ron has all like the Tippi Hedren of it all. You know, he's with like Doris Day and all these, you know, famous people that we know. So between the two of them, they know virtually anybody there is to know. So, but they're just such nice, cool guys. They're like regular, everyday people. I just love them.
Well, speaking of Diddy, I just read something in the news today where he got arrested in L.A. for assaulting somebody with a, what's it called, John?
A kettlebell.
Which
A
what?
kettlebell.
What the feezy is a kettlebell?
Well, I had to ask too. I had no idea what it was. Apparently, it's a weight that people use to lift weights to pump iron, but it's got a handle on it like a tea kettle.
Carrying that around? Is that just he totes around? Yeah. Like, does he just carry it with him where he goes out on the town?
This happened in a gymnasium at UCLA, and his son was on the football team or something, basketball. Diddy gets in an argument with the coach and attacked him with the kettlebell. Apparently, that was a convenient weapon in the gym.
Yeah, that's
there we go. There's a kettlebell. Somebody was very quick to post that. Thank you, Dr. Seuss. See that? Do you see that?
Yeah, see,
Cindy?
we have such informative chat room people who can post us things about bells and weights and all kinds of Diddy scandals. So that's awesome.
I see why they call it a kettlebell, because it does look like a tea kettle, sort of. Except the thing weighs 20 pounds, apparently, and if you hit somebody with that, you could probably kill them.
Why didn't he just slap him upside the head? I mean, really? Does he have to use a weight?
Well, I don't know. It just seems to me he's being one of those soccer moms going ballistic.
Postal.
Yeah, going postal, exactly.
You know, but then, as they say, all publicity is good publicity. So how much publicity did Diddy get off of this? So, you know, take that.
How much did OJ get? I mean, I'm not.
Ah.
Yeah, good point, John. I think there is such a thing as too much bad publicity. I don't think there's too much good publicity.
Jerry Sandusky got plenty of publicity. I don't know if that was good.
Jerry Sandusky. Oh, the one who diddled all the kids, that one?
Yeah, Joe Paterno's sidekick.
Oh, right. You know, I think publicity is okay if it's good, but if it's bad, I'm not so sure. It depends, though, because, like, personally, I think all the publicity that the Kardashians get is bad publicity, but they seem to eat it up. Was that the helicopter, Chad?
That was a 2-minute chopper.
Oh, it was. Okay. It sounded awfully strange at this end. It sounded more like a lawnmower than a chopper.
It was the 2-minute lawnmower, of course.
Our time is up already, I'm afraid.
How can it be? We just started being crazy. Oh, my God.
I know. I'm so glad we had this time together. Now, who's old enough to remember what show that was on?
Carol Burnett.
Ah, well, you're old enough then.
Oh, shut up. Thanks so much.
Well, listen, Cindy, it's been a real treat to have you on the show.
Thank you all, my buddies in chat and everyone out there in Radio Land. Thanks so much for listening. Love all of you guys. Thanks for supporting Lady Lake Music at Lady Lake Music on Twitter. We're almost up to 40,000. Let's get us up to the mark. Come on, guys. We need just a few more people. Sorry for the plug.
No problem. Listen, this is what the Light and Fluffy show is all about. Next week, we're going to have the fabulous Dave Martinez on. Woo-hoo! I think he's going to have to take a break from his busy schedule. I tell you, Dave has got to be the busiest guy. He is touring in more places. Schlitterbahn, I think he's doing a tour of.
Chain of water parks. He's playing all the water parks.
Yeah, I got to ask him about that. That sounds pretty amazing. Yeah. So please, everybody, tune in next week when we will have Dave Martinez. And, of course, John Morgan will be here and I will be here. So thank you very much. This is Douglas Coleman saying good night and thank you all for coming.